I made this sign for up on my chicken coop, and I really wanted it to have that kind of antique 1940s sign. I love the whole farm to table idea. The first step is to get a nice aged board. This particular one came from an old fence and it was weathered perfectly. Then all I did was sanded down the very surface of it. You still want to leave a lot of the character and the grain there. You just want to do a light sanding job over the surface, enough to take out any splinters, but to leave all the character. I did this on both sides of my board as well as on the edges, and I paid a special attention to the corners of my piece, as that tends to be where the splinters will form. The next thing that I did is I measured 3 inches from each corner, and then I divided the space that was left over in between those marks by 13, because farm to table, including the 2 spaces in the middle there, has 13 different characters. And for me, that equaled about 4. So then I measured 4 inches for each character, and I marked up a 1/2 inch from the bottom and down a 1/2 inch from the top. So this gave me kind of my window of where I wanted to make my letters. For a board this size, I like to use a ruler width for the majority of my letters. I make it pretty blocky and just round out the corners. And then I also like to add just a little whoop thing right at the edges. Essentially, I measure out 1/4 of an inch from my little blocky edge, and then I just kind of do a little curve right to that 1/4 of an inch from the straight portion. The next step is to begin painting. You know, you can use any color, but in this case, I'm using white because white is a primary color that I've been using on my chicken coop, and this will go on my coop as well. And then I use my white to do the basic block shape first, and then I'll add in the little swoop in the corners. Try not to be too picky because we're going to go back over it with a sander to kind of give it that aged look later.
I did add a weather treatment to it, and then I put it up on my coop, and it gave me that perfect antique sign look that I was going for.